We found a deer! And then when we were coming here, I was like, yo, there's a moose on the middle of the street. Yeah. And it turns out it was a deer. How to location scout for your next upcoming shoot. But first, we need to get onto location.
Goddamn.
Bro, you're
What's
too
up?
tall. You're like fucking. I look like a fucking midget from your height.
What's up, guys?
We're location scouting for our upcoming shoot.
Look how small he is.
Okay, relax. Your hand was at my neck. I'm not that short. Alright, so we're here location scouting for our first location for our upcoming shoot. We have a seat right here. This spot is pretty cool. We're going to be doing a off-roading commercial for a 4Runner shoot. So we're checking out how off-road-ish this area is. But obviously one of the first things for pre-visiting a commercial or just any type of shoot is to actually have a storyboard or a mood board in mind. So I'm not going to go too much into the storyboarding. This is more so for pre-production once you're actually on location and scouting the area. But obviously, like I mentioned, storyboarding and mood boarding is important, and if you have the time to do it before, you should definitely do that. Now, one of my favorite tools for storyboarding and mood boarding is to use Millernote, which is just this really cool app that lets you lay out everything very nicely. You can do shot lists, you can do mood boards, you can do storyboards, you can do pre-production, all of that. By the way, this is not sponsored by any of these brands that I'll be mentioning in this video, but it is a cool tool to use. They do have a free version if you want to check it out, but if you don't want to pay for the full version, there's also a ton of other options. You can use Canva, you can use Photoshop, you can use Microsoft Paint. JK, don't use Microsoft Paint. But yeah, your first step is to actually just make a storyboard and a mood board. For mood boarding, you can also use sites like FrameSet, which is just looking at commercials and reference pictures that other people have done in the past, and you can use that. You can also search up past videos and stuff on things like Vimeo. You can see what other people are doing. With that, you're able to grab reference frames, which is what we did here. So obviously, before you even get onto location, you want to be doing your storyboard and mood board first. Still looking into the camera?
Yeah.
This is the different lens, the long one.
I
This
use
one?
100 and
Oh wait, I can see the things. What we're doing.
oh, control.
Show details. Yeah, this is cool. This is not how you do BTS. This guy's holding the camera, trying to record himself, recording with the phone. This is not how you do it. Not how you do it. So once you get into location, obviously you want to check out the location and see what you want to shoot there and see if it fits the vibe that you're looking for. What you're going to want to do is to take photos and videos of everything, because ideally you don't want to have to come back to location, especially if it's super far away or if it's kind of a hassle to get there. You want to make sure that you're able to document everything and make sure that you get everything so that if you ever need to reference it again, you can just look back at your photos and videos. And then what we were doing before on this ridge here is we were checking out this spot as a potential location for one of the shots. And you want to use the same lenses that you're going to be using for the shoot, just to actually see if it works for what you want. So you also want to be able to bring the lenses that you're going to use on the shoot. So for the shoot, we're actually using our Blazer Remus lenses. So we actually brought them over here. But because we weren't sure which lenses we were going to use for this specific shot, sometimes it might just be too much of a hassle to have to keep switching lenses just to see if the lenses that you're thinking of will actually work. Or maybe you're even renting lenses and you don't have the lenses on set. Or maybe you just have a ton of lenses, maybe you're going to be using 8 different lenses during the shoot, and it's way too much of a hassle to switch between. So an app that I like to use, I really like to use is called Kadridge. Kadridge? I don't know how to say it. But this app is actually really cool. So if you click on the main menu here, you can choose which camera that you're using. So right now we're using the Sony FX3. You can choose our shooting modes. So we're going to be doing 4K, 24 to 60 FPS, somewhere in between. And because we are using the Blazer Remus anamorphic lenses, we can choose that here. That's what we're going to choose, which will put the aspect ratio to a 2.67 by 1, which is the standard 1.5 times squeeze ratio. And then you can also choose what lenses we're going to be using. So we're going to be using both sets of the Blazer Remus. So we have the 33, 45, 50, 65, 85, 100, and 125 millimeter. So you can select that all there. And then once you're done, you can click done. And now this is where the cool part comes in. So using your phone lenses, you can actually, on the bottom right here, you can switch between the different focal lengths that you're going to be using. And this actually helps you get an idea of what the lenses will look like with that focal length without having to actually use your camera. So you can see that for that shot we were using 33, but then Asif also switched to the 100mm, which will be very close up. And using just your iPhone, you're able to switch between all of the different lenses that you're going to be using without having to actually switch lenses on the camera. And you can see that it's even applying the anamorphic squeeze here. So the aspect ratio is a little tighter, which is pretty cool. You're also able to take photos or videos. So if you want to previs a very specific shot, you can click record. And now we're recording. Wave high. And then you can also change the focus, you can change your exposure and your white balance. I think you can toggle stabilization too. That's pretty cool. So basically we got this shot here to see if we think it'll work for what we want. And now we're gonna go check out another ledge right here to see if our 4Runner car will be able to do it. So like I said, Kadrich is really useful for seeing if the lenses will work for the shot that you're thinking of, but also documenting the general area just to remember what the place actually looks like. So I have my new Fujifilm X-E5 here. Just gonna use this to take some pictures of the space so that if we ever need to look back on it, we don't have to visit the location again. We can just look at the pictures, which will be really useful. Can a car do this?
Like,
I
here.
do not know.
For reference, we'll stand next to each other. I'm 6 foot. Now watch
I'm
my height.
short.
Watch my height drop when I stand here.
Damn, is this how I look when you look at me? I'm joking.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, so even showing him is gonna be kind of hard because
Well, he'll be here anyways.
Yeah.
If you can't, it is what
but
it
height
is.
will always be a little harder to tell.
Yeah.
And like the steepness of the slope and all that
Yeah.
will be a little bit
Okay.
harder to tell
What
through
if
the
like
cameras.
I stand all the way down there? Yeah. When he said it was like tough trails, he's not kidding.
Yeah. I was like, I can do it.
Okay. Yeah. Can you do that? This guy.
So the guy said, it's not built for my car. And I was like, I can do it. Look at this drop right here. It's literally like my height. Like I'm standing straight. This is what, like half my body, and I'm standing on a slope. Like
Yeah, I
if
think-
I crouch, like,
Oh no, we're not finding you.
so my camera just fell. Hence my scream.
Show them a photo of the damages.
Whoopsies. So we're doing a pit stop back to the car because Asif brought all our Blazer Remus lenses, but because of Kadrich, we don't need to bring all of them. So now he's just carrying around like, well, 3 pounds of dead weight.
Now here's the problem. Not the weight. It's very hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. And look at him.
My neck is sweating.
He has a backpack,
Yep.
and then a sling,
Yep.
and then his camera. So he's strapped up. But obviously, if you're gonna like previs color grading and stuff too, then you want to shoot it on your camera.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to see what focal lengths,
Well, that's the
You
thing.
want to
Here, I
use-
thought we were going to be more locked out on the certain locations.
yeah,
But even then, I realized how difficult this trail is. It's better to be light.
yeah.
Because Halliburton, yeah, I'll carry this with me just because it's easy.
So we checked out that ridge over there,
Yeah.
and then we came down this. This is that path down to that like single shot.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we can keep going
We'll go this way.
straight, I guess. You know, look at what's coming right here.
Looks cool. I wish we had that.
That reminds me of those daddy long leg spiders.
Yeah, I was like, why is it so tall?
This guy's like, I'm making sure I'm never scraping the bottom of it.
I swear.
I thought this sign said, please straddle the butts.
This guy.
So the second tip is obviously you want to try to scout your location as close as possible to the time that you're actually going to be shooting at. Because if you're scouting the location at like high noon time and you're actually going to shoot at sunset, then the sun is going to be in different positions. You won't actually get to see what the environment is like. Maybe you'll be more busy at the time that you're shooting at versus when you get there, or vice versa. So if it's possible, you want to get to your location as close as possible to the time that you're going to be shooting. But if you can't, a really cool app that you can use is Sunseeker, so you can see exactly where the sun will be at given times. So we can see that at this specific time on August 23rd, which is this date up here, you can see that the sun will be in this position, and by 5 p.m. it'll basically be covered by this tree, which lets us know that if we want to shoot at this specific location right here, we have to shoot between 3 to 5 p.m. because that's when the sun will peek out in between these trees. And for a lot of people, maybe they'll look at this location without Sunseeker and they'll think that we can shoot all the way until 8 p.m. because that's when sunset is. But you can see that from 5 to 8 p.m. it's pretty much all covered by these trees, so that actually wouldn't be doable. So Sunseeker helps us see where the sun will be, gives us a time frame for our shooting window.
Cody's
I think
reaction.
we found a ghost town. This is where we're going to stay for our shoot.
Yep.
So after
I ran out of budget, guys. I'm sorry.
we shoot like a 12-hour day, we're going to be up all night.
All
because
8 of us.
Yeah, and we're gonna hear creepy noises all night.
Look at that.
Oh. Yo, it looks like a dungeon in here.
Look at the, turn to your right and look at the chair in the corner.
Yo, there's ropes.
That's what I'm saying.
Someone got tied up here.
What's happening here?
If you don't see us again after this shoot, check the spot. My body's gonna be in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yo, there's our washroom. Look at our toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. So Sunseeker is actually super useful for a lot of other shoots as well, not only commercial shoots. So one of the biggest things is weddings, which I do a lot. And sometimes one of the biggest troubles is seeing when you want to do sunset photos with your couple. There's a bug on my lens. But yeah, finding out when you can do sunset photos with your couples is probably one of the most annoying parts, just because there's usually a ton of trees around your venue. So using something like Sunseeker will let you know that, hey, by 7 p.m., which might be like an hour and a half before sunset, the sun is going to be covered by trees. So you want to be able to shoot before that, just to make sure that you don't miss your window of sun. So Sunseeker is definitely super useful. And then I forgot to mention, but at least in Canadian dollars, it's 16 bucks, which is actually pretty cheap. It's a one-time payment. You don't have to pay monthly. And then Kadrit is a $26 payment, also one time. So honestly, I feel like even just using it once and being able to plan out your shoot with perfect lighting, well worth it for the cost. Oh, you're gonna step in. Please don't fall in. Please don't sink.
Yeah, that's very sinky.
I don't want to have to go in to get you.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks sick.
There we go. I took the photos. I love Cat Ridge. This is sick.
Look at this one. Look at that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that spot there looks really good.
That looks sick.
I mean, this all looks pretty decent.
Okay, this
as
is
long
on
as
the
we don't
shot
get
list.
this spot here,
Yeah.
everything else in the background looks really good.
Oh, this looks nuts.
Yeah.
This is going to be on the shot list.
I think we definitely need to make this part a shot if
Yeah.
we can.
And this could probably be the last spot of this location.
Yep. Good. All right, we're gonna throw the drone up for 1 or 2 shots just to see how it looks.
Honestly, I'm not surprised if they literally go off-road into that.
Home point updated.
So I think another tip is don't get too stuck up on locations, because I think there are a couple of shots where we weren't sure if his car could make it, and instead of spending 20 minutes trying to figure out if his car can make it, we just move on to the next location instead of just wasting all the time trying to get a shot in that one location, because unless you're very confined, there's probably going to be a different location that will get the shot that you need. So if the shot you're thinking of doesn't work, just move on to the next location. You can always come back if you actually can't find anything else. So we're at our next location, which is not actually our next location because the next location that we were going to go to, they were very bad with like relaying what time they closed at, which means that we didn't actually get to drive into the forest that we were supposed to be at.
Well, we were supposed to have a key to get into the park.
And
they
they
don't
didn't tell us that they closed at 5.
They
So
don't specify you can only get the key
yeah,
during office hours. But you can visit the park outside office hours.
but we're
some
not
reason.
walking like 10 kilometers to find
Yeah.
the lake. So, well, we gotta come back another time.
Yep.
But that's why you previous stuff, because if we showed up here
Yes.
2 weeks later for our shoot,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and then we realized we couldn't drive in,
I'm screwed.
then we're cooked.
Oh yeah.
Bro, this lighting looks so good right now. But yeah, these shots with the Fuji look so good. I'll put them on the screen here. Yeah, if you're gonna grab everything, I'll just open the
Yeah.
car for you.
Sure.
That was the craziest shot ever.
Yeah, the craziest shot. Okay.
What was that? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for pre-visiting a shoot on location. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. A lot of the shoots I used to do before is very run and gun, not a lot of planning. Obviously, I still knew what I had to do, and I would show up to location a little bit earlier on the day of the shoot just to kind of plan out some spots. But I am doing a lot more kind of like more commercial shoots where it does require a lot more planning. And I've been learning that pre-visiting and doing a lot of location scouting before the shoot is definitely super necessary, especially for very complicated shoots where we're gonna have like 8 people, we're gonna have like 50 shots that we need to get. It's gonna take like 2 whole days. And if we just showed up to shoot and tried to like run and gun the whole shoot, it definitely would not go well. So hopefully some of these tips helps you learn how to pre-vis and scout out locations a little bit better. If this is useful, remember to drop a like, subscribe to see more photo video content, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. We found a deer.
Yeah.
And then when we were coming here, I was like, yo, there's a moose on the middle of the street.
sleep deprived.
Yeah. And it turns out it was a deer. And they were feeding it carrots and stuff.
You saw it here, right? Because we turned in here.
I saw it right here in the middle of the road.
Oh.
I was like, there's a big thing there. Like, it did not look like a person. It was a thing like on 4 legs. And then when we came back to the street, it was gone. I guess it was like there the whole time.